Alright, old gatekeeper here. Alright, Mr. Diaz, you wanted me to check the input and the output tune. You feel that it needs to be retuned. And I got your top put off here, man. Looks like there's been a little bit of moisture that's got into the box. Not bad, but got a little bit of rust there. As you can see there, I'll get that cleaned off for you. Pretty dusty in here. I can tell you've got some good use out of it. Go ahead and get that cleaned out too as well. But just looking in here, man, it doesn't seem like we've got any burnt components or anything like that. Here's your output tune right here. Okay. And your input tune is right here. You got 110 picofarad capacitor for the input tune. And see, these boards already come pre-tuned. And these are actually the same exact boards that come in with the Palomars. As you can see, they're 4FET PAL. PAL short for Palomar. So Xforce was able to work out a deal on getting these boards, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. The boards already come labeled, you know, so it's not that hard to hook your own switches up and everything like that. It's on a great size heat sink. AB biased. Some good little box, man. Good little box. Alright, so we'll get this checked out, hooked it up, man, see what's going on with the reflect issues you were talking about, and we'll be back. Alright, brother, we got this thing cleaned up for you. And just want to show you what it's doing before I do any tuning to it. First, I'll show you the bias voltage. Right there, about 3.1 volts. Okay, so the bias seems to be good. Go ahead and unplug those. Alright. I got both of these slugs in reverse. This is your output. 5-watt slug in the out. New slug I just got. Okay, that's your output in reverse. Input in reverse. Alright. The box is on high. 13.8 volts like you asked me to do. Do it on low voltage. And I'm only using the bench radio, so we're driving 4 watts RMS into it, which peaks up around 18 volts. That's the smallest radio I got on my bench, which is quite small for this amplifier. I'll explain in a second, but this is what you consider the high drive version. Okay, this amp right here needs about 50 watts peak. 50 watts peak to get up to its max performance. They have an LD version. Palomar has an LD version. I don't know if Xforce does. I'm sure they do. And basically what it will have is one of these 7530s driving 4. Okay? And then that they pretty much have it set up to where that first 7. But basically with the power that you were driving into it was yeah, I guess you can say kind of driving it maybe just a quarter of its way. It's not a lot of drive at all. You were putting, I think you said you was using about 8 to 11 watts PEP. That's not pushing this box nowhere near its potential. And that's why they call it the high drive version. And if you ever see like a Palomar 4, I think theirs are called 450s, I believe. I could be wrong, but the Palomar 450 LD, that's just a one driving 4 of these. And if you see the HD, it's going to be this right here, just 4. And the HD is pretty much good matchup for an export radio, something doing 40 to 50 watts. But so I'll go ahead and show you what we're getting out of it right now. On the reflect side of things, okay, I got it on high. Okay. Alright, 5-watt slug in reverse. Oh, barely moves it. See where the 5 is all the way over there? That'd be 5 watts. You see where the 10 is? That would be 1 watt. Oh, so you have virtually no reflect whatsoever. The input, less than a 1/4 watt, which is perfectly acceptable. Now here's something I do want to point out. As soon as you go to medium, your input reflect comes up a bit, and when you go to low, it becomes up even more. Medium, go to about a 1/2 watt. Low, go a little bit under 1 watt. And I mean, there's not much you can do to that. All low, medium, high, I mean, they all share the same input tune. Okay? They've got a unique system they use for the low, medium, and high. At first, I thought it might have been altering the actual bias voltage, but I checked that. The bias voltage remains the same. But I mean, it's just fairly unique. So, I wouldn't just run it on low or medium. Sorry about that, I ran out of space. So basically, like I was saying, there's absolutely no reason to even run medium or low on this box, especially with what you're running into it, because you're already, are not putting a lot into it already. So I mean, it's best just to run it on high. I'll demonstrate that. Take that slug out, put my 1K back in here. There it is. I wonder where it got off to. Alright, we'll look at it on PEP. You're not making hardly no RMS wattage with these Mosfets. Alright, 1,000 watt slug. Looking at the bottom scale on it. Alright, like I said, this is 4 watts RMS drive, which peaks up around, around 16, 18 watts. Go. That's like 100 and make sure we're on high, yeah. Like 120 watts PEP. Go, yeah, right there, about 120 watts. Which I know that's not a lot. I would think it should be doing a bit more, but there again, I'm not allowed to drive this box, so I can't really tell. I know you said you didn't want me driving this box at all. The way that I normally would see if this box is putting out what it's supposed to be putting out is to put around 40, 50 watts into it to make sure it's doing around 400 watts. But, I'm going to follow your request with that. This is your box. You did request for me not drive it, any more than basically about what you put into it, pretty much, if I remember correctly. And you wanted me to keep that voltage low. Okay. But I personally don't feel like it needs a retune or anything, but I'm still going to do it since you're asked, just to see maybe we might be able to improve the input, get it down even more, and we'll see if we can't bring that output up a little bit. So this is basically what we're looking at for the primary key here. So that's right there about, like I said, right there about 120, 130. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, brother. I put a trimmer on both of these sections on the input and the output. The input's spot on. Anywhere else I go from where the input already is, which is right there about 110 picofarad, you get more reflect. So that's spot on. It can't get any better. The output, I was able to get just a little bit more output out of it. We're talking about 10 more picofarad. This is what was in it, which equals 82 picofarad. This is a 150 and a 180 in series, which comes to a 82 picofarad. And it tuned out pretty much right there about 91. So that's what we got here for. You got a bigger cap too right here on the output. So this is a hefty cap. You won't never have no problems with that one devaluing from getting overheating or anything. So got you a bigger output cap in there. So we was able to gain just a tad bit more. Not not much to jump up and down about or anything, but was able to get a little bit. Oh. so that's about 150. So we was able to get about 150 out of her. Oh, yeah, that's about 160 right there. So we got about 30 more watts out of it. Tell you, man, all I gotta do is take them voltage and turn that voltage. These can run on 15 volts, no problem, man. I guarantee you, I'm not gonna do it out of your request, you know, to leave it on the voltage that you asked me to leave it on. But if I did turn that thing to 50 volts, I guarantee you it'd be over 200 watts at that point, just by increasing the voltage. But that's 13.8 volts, 150 watts with about 18 watts drive, PEP. That's 4 watts RMS. I will demonstrate that for you now. We'll just turn this to the forward position. This is the radio while it's driving the amp, okay? So that's what you really want to look at, because radios can change a little while you're driving. Ooh, see, it's like mine increases just a little usually. Ooh, yeah. See, now watch this. We'll turn the box off, see if there's any change. Ooh, see that? That's when you know you got you a decent radio there, because you don't want the radio actually falling back when you're driving an amplifier. You want it to go forward a little. Oh yeah. All right, buddy. We got this thing all sewed up for you, man. So you can rest easy now that your box is tuned the way it should be. And I am probably guessing you might not have known what this box can handle. If you want to check in behind me, which, you know, I suggest you do, just get up on Google and look up Palomar 450 FET. I believe it's 450. If it isn't 450, it's 400, okay? I believe it's 450, though. Palomar 450 FET. I know this is an Xforce Midnight Special MF400, but these are the Palomar boards, okay? And these are the same boards used with Palomars, so that's why I said just to check that out. And I guarantee you Xforce has it on their site as well, what you can drive into them. But you should be able to get 300 or 400 watts, no problem, just increasing the drive a little. But I know you're the kind of guy who wants to run your box, you know, easy, so it lasts, and there ain't nothing wrong with that either, bud. All right, man. Well, sorry it took a little while. Thanks for being patient with me. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. We'll get this thing packaged up and get it back to you. Old gatekeeper out here around the northeast end of Georgia said it we good and gone. Bye-bye.